Let me say something that might sting a little bit. World building is not writing. Don't get me wrong, world building is very useful. It can be fun, it can be very exciting, especially if you're a fantasy or sci fi writer. Creating magic systems, star maps, pantheons of deities, political factions, ancient histories, all that stuff feels productive and it's intriguing and exciting to create. But here is an uncomfortable truth. World building is something you do to prepare for writing a story. It is not a replacement for it. And it's incredibly easy to fall into this trap. You start with a map, you add some cultures, then languages, then a timeline that goes back thousands of years, and then you end up building 3 different magic systems just in case. And before you know it, you've built an entire wiki for a world that you don't even have a first chapter for yet. Here's the question you have to ask yourself. How much of it needs to be in the story that you want to write? Not sequels, not prequels, not a tabletop RPG campaign guide. The story that you want to write right now. And if you answer yourself honestly, you're probably going to discover something uncomfortable. Only a little fraction of what you've built ever needs to be on the page. The reader doesn't need to know, nor most of the time do they care, about the full lineage of the royal family. They don't need the complete cosmology and pantheon of deities. They don't need to know the economic theory behind your interstellar trade routes. They need a character who has a problem. They need a reason to keep turning the pages, to keep reading. Here's something that nobody likes to admit when they get into this cycle of constant world building, more and more and more and more. A lot of people don't get stuck doing world building because they're passionate about it. They get stuck because it feels safe. There's no blank page pressure, no fears of, is it good enough? No risk of writing something messy and imperfect. You can just keep building and building and building forever and never face the part that's kind of scary. Actually starting to write your story. But if your goal is to write a novel, not just to design a world, but to write a story, then at some point you have to stop preparing and start drafting. So, here's something very simple that you can try out. If you really do intend at some point to start writing, you need to really think about your world building and make the decision to just set it aside and start. And one of the ways that you can help decide that I've done more than enough is to look at your world building bit by bit and say, does it affect what the main character is going to do? Does it affect the central conflict? Does it affect the outcome of the story? If the answer is no, then you simply don't need it yet. You've already done more than you need to. I always do world building to serve the story, to serve the plot. I let the world emerge as I need it to. I start with key places, people, magic system, all the world building things, but I start only with what I actually need. Then I start writing and add as I go. You can add more as you go. You can deepen the world, the lore later as you're writing. But you can't revise a story that doesn't exist. So, a bit of tough love, I know, but you really need to stop and think. And if you've been telling yourself something along the lines of, I just need to finish one more part of my world, and then I'll start, you've already done more than enough. This is the sign that you need to set aside your lore documents, your world building, and actually start writing. Your world doesn't come alive in your notes. Your world comes to life in the story. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the good YouTube stuff. Check out the description for more resources. I'll see you on the next one.